Yes.
All right, good morning, folks. Welcome back for day 2 of the 2022 Willow 300 and 150 sled dog race here. We're at the Sheep Creek Lodge checkpoint. You can see a team right over my shoulder. Kel Casey, your host here, director of the Alaska Dog Center. Thanks to my crew for letting me be here. And we're going to pop in for an update. There's the signage there with handsome Andy Pohl. He is an Iditarod veteran whose wife, Kristy, is on the trail right now. So as you all jump on the feed, please share it. You're about to get an update from one of our handlers, Andy, who's been up all night. We've had Andy on the feed before several times. He and I snow machined in Nome a couple years ago. So those of you who've been watching the Kel Casey live feed for a while know Andy's expertise. And he also has another handler here, Kenzie. Okay, so there we go. A little quick hit there for Kenzie's family. And here we go, Andy. What happened overnight? How were the temperatures? How the teams look? You've been here all night, right?
I've been here all night, starting to Susitna all the way to here. It's been about 15 below, very constant, very calm, no wind, lots of frost in the trees. It's been beautiful. The trail set up wonderfully. I got great reports coming from the Mushers. A couple little hills out there. Took them for a little faster because they're a little steep drop-offs, but the trail has been fantastic. Nothing like it was if you caught an update of our previous race in this area, the Nic 200. A little bit of overflow back then, but.
And that was right at New Year's, right? So for folks following at home, the Nic 200 was at New Year's this year.
Well, it was January 1st and January 2nd.
And that's where you live.
Down in Knik. Yep.
And it got real warm down there, right?
Yep. It got warm up here, and that was the time when we had the blizzard. The 30-mile-an-hour winds were blowing through here, and it was about 10 below. Everybody was freezing. Snow was swirling around there. Drifts everywhere. It was amazing.
So right now, when I left the homestead this morning, it was about -9, -10 in Willow.
Yep.
We're still holding cold here, right?
We're holding cold, but it's getting a little bit warmer. We're talking single negative digits. So it's better than it was 15 below, but everybody out here is ready, dressed, and dogs got their fur coats.
And for you, did you get a chance to sleep last night?
Yes, we did.
And how did that?
It was a glorious 2-hour nap on the floor of the bar.
Okay, so for folks at home, I just want to give a big shout out to the handlers out here. I mean, here's another handler working away, right? Real quick, what's your name? Kiana. Where are you from? You're not a handler at all. You're on a team.
No, I'm a handler. I'm working for Sarah and Travis.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. Braxton Peterson just took
For
off.
turning heads.
Yep, turning heads.
And do you work down in Seward too?
I do, yeah. I work up on the glacier with them in the summertime.
Oh my gosh. And that means that if folks are going to Seward, Alaska, they can meet you all, get on a helicopter.
Yes, come up to the glacier and see our pups. They train and do races out here. All of our local races. They go and do Iditarod, and then they come up and do tours in the summertime. It's awesome.
And what do you want to say to your family back home that thinks that you're crazy?
Oh, well, my family lives in Florida, so they definitely think I'm nuts. They think that 70 degrees is cold, so.
Right on. Well, thanks for giving me that moment, Kiana. Look at that. So we got her sled filled with the straw. So not only do the handlers have to kind of always anticipate being available to accept the dropped dogs, like an injured dog or a tired dog or whatever, but they're also responsible for doing all the schlepping, cleanup. Here's Kenzie's rake set up here and sled. You can see Andy's got a little system on there. Andy, why don't you explain kind of how the handler sled is on your system here? I showed a good feed last night of Brendan Mackey's at Susitna Landing that was super dialed in. This looks pretty tight here too. What do you got?
So as a handler, first weapon of choice is you got to have a good sled to drag your stuff around. And I'm supporting out here 2 mushers, both Kristy and Anna Berington.
So these are plastic sleds you can get anywhere in Alaska, at the supermarket, at Sportsman's Warehouse.
Nice heavy duty plastic sleds, great for adult sledding. Go out, use one of these. They're nearly indestructible if you really want to bomb down the hill with a kid. But we have leftover gear that the twins left behind. There are old used booties that we picked up.
Okay.
There's an extra piece of gang line because they each dropped a dog in this checkpoint.
Okay.
Return the dogs, and of course, when they're out on the trail, they have a sled loaded with snacks, and so we've got.
So you got extra snacks. Look at that.
And we'll take these back to the kennel and use
And all these too. So when we said last night that the Mushers bringing more than enough food for their dogs, that's a good example.
Because the twins are conscientious of what they're using. This was a full bale of straw for each of them, and instead of just throwing it away in the burn pile, I just bundled up their last little flakes here, fluffer piles as they call them.
Yep.
And we'll use these for a training run later on, or reline one of the dog boxes in the dog trailer.
Andy, real quick, we have folks watching from all over the world, whether it be down in South America or Australia or Europe, whatever. How much does straw cost? We'll go with that first. Up here in the Great Land.
What is it? 20, 25?
Exactly.
Store?
$20 to $25 plus a bale.
Yeah, dollars. Wait, watch for that inflation.
U.S. dollars. So, and it can be even higher to fly them out to villages or get them to checkpoints. So.
Oh man, then the price goes up.
And every dog needs one. There you can see Rick Casilla's team in the background, beautifully bedded down on straw with more straw behind them. So straw is a very important part of the scene here.
It's amazing what just a little bit of straw in the snow does for the insulating properties underneath the dogs. The dogs definitely notice the difference. And when the straw comes out, those dogs are like, ooh, damp it. And they get all squirrely. They do their 3 circles, twist around, lie down, pee in their own little corner, make it their own, and settle in.
And there they are right behind you. Point out some teams there. I know we got Matt Paveligo in the foreground there.
Paviglio's in the pink sleeves over. Hey, Matt!
There's Matt right there. There's Matt and his crew. Okay, who's next to Matt?
Look up Matt. He does a lot of live shots of his own team and training in the winter, if you can find him.
Yep.
I believe there's a guy named Josh over there.
Yep, Josh was right in there.
Okay, I'm not sure if the other name of the other mushers. I'm not good at recognizing people as they change their parkas and the checkpoints.
Yep, no, I copied that. Okay. But look at those teams bedded down, looking all very similar, coats on, straw everywhere.
And notice the big pile in the back of the green
Yep,
cart.
so that's
the used straw that will be disposed of after the race is done. This race, or this checkpoint, will be used again as the finishing
area, right? So here are some areas that the handlers have raked up, right? So that's an example of the kind of leave no trace. Actually, there's a dog team bedded down right there. That's looking good. So real quick for the folks who are following the trackers and might have gotten a little confused last night. Maybe, in fact, whoa, my gimbal just got strange on me, folks. There we go. Sorry about that. Andy, my gimbal apparently froze. Just send the audience on a little spin. Hey, so for folks who are actually seeing some trackers move in weird directions, are there cases where mushers just take a wrong turn and maybe get on the wrong track? I mean, there can't be everybody out there pointing directions all the time, right?
There's a certain time of the night. Some mushers relate to the witching hour. Kristy and Anna refer to it about between 2 and 6 a.m. After you go more than 24 hours into a race, there's a little bit of sleep deprivation. You've got that nodding off. It's dark. You've got your hood up. You've got frost covered on your ruff, and you're looking with your headlamp through kind of a frosted tunnel. And if you doze off, some mushers have been known to miss a turn out there. And I think if you follow the tracker, there's a case of it going on right now. I'm not up to speed on what's going on out there, but stay tuned and follow along.
Right, stay tuned. We appreciate that insight, Andy. That's Andy's way. We'll look at the teams while y'all process what he just said. If you've been following trackleaders.com, that's where the GPS is around these sleds. That's where you can follow these teams all around the track. There's been some turns that might have been missed by some folks. Hugh Neff would be one number to look at. Dwayne Beals the other. So I do believe the 2 teams have missed a turn out here on the complex system of the Willow rivers and creeks, and so if that is the case, that will mean obviously.
Don't worry about them though.
They'll be fine, but in terms of standings and time, you don't get the time back, right? You do the extra miles, you do the extra miles. So,
plenty of food.
Right on. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. Andy, why don't you close it out for us? And
stay tuned for Tail Casey Live, but this was the Sheep Creek Lodge checkpoint.
right on. Thank you.